In the mix with DJ Rambo Rich.
So this is the What's That Music About podcast. I'm your host, DJ Rambo Rich. And in today's episode, we're going to be interviewing Xidontlie. Before we start the podcast, I'm just going to ask you to introduce yourself. Thanks for coming on the podcast and just introduce yourself.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. My name's Xidontlie. I'm a artist, a UK artist. I delve into rap, art, like hip hop, grime, trap, kind of all of the gritty sounds.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, well, cool. Okay, so what we're going to do now is going to move to the first round, which is mixtapes and memories. So any second there'll be an intro, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so this is the first round, and this is mixtapes and memories. And in mixtapes and memories, we discuss past memories of music and how these key moments shaped your musical tastes and influences. So to start that off, I'm going to ask, what's your first musical memory?
Oh, my first musical memory is definitely like Murrayside Youth Club. I mean, I've had quite like a really big community when I was growing up in like IP3 in Ipswich, and I was like, it was great. It was really, they really championed the youth back then, you know. So like, it was yeah, it was great. Like that, we had a lot of DJs that would come through, and one specific DJ actually, shout out to Biggs, but he come through. He come through with his decks, and he encouraged us to like express ourselves. Even freestyle, whether you've written or you haven't, like just get on the mic and do something. And it really inspired me, you know what I mean? It inspired all of us to kind of try and do more than just hang around and get into the wrong things.
Definitely. I'm always a big person at the moment. I feel like we're going through a bit of a resurgence of that with like with the knife crime situation, and I think like, you know, there's so many other things. There's not like, obviously it comes down to money, doesn't it, at the end of the day?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like as a country, we could do so much more to help the youth, basically, you know, channel that energy into something positive, you know, boxing, music, drama.
Exactly.
Reading,
like,
acting,
even like you said,
poetry.
boxing. My artist I work closely with, Jet Ski, he's currently working on, I can't say too much because his project, obviously, but he's currently working on a knife crime campaign with a couple songs. So he's with very much, I mean, coming from like Napton and Ipswich in general and Suffolk in general, it's plastered as this like, it's a beautiful countryside. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful countryside. Like the surroundings and the countryside is lovely, but there's a lot of I don't know if you know much about the Windrush generation. And stuff like that. Yeah, of course, yeah. So down here, like the areas that don't have a lot of money is a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of, I don't want to say it's not poverty, but there's a lot of struggle and a lot of trauma, and a lot of stuff that is for a small town. There's a lot of fear here. There's the same fear as you get in a big city. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting place.
But no, it's interesting how you said that, like, you had that one person that just took the time to, you know, give you that sort of motivation to pursue something creative. And, you know, and it's interesting how a lot of the people I've spoken to, there's been someone like that in their life, and it's helped them. And you think yourself, as I bet you imagine now, you have a few moments where you think maybe like you do that yourself, don't you? Because you knew
what it was like,
pivotal it was to you in your life. So you just passed that on, you know. And I'm sure you've probably done that yourself, man. I know I have. Like I say,
man. I mean, I always try. That's kind of a thing. I'm very much about, if I know what you're going through and I can change it in some way, I'm gonna try. You know what I mean? So yeah, you got to be what you want. You got to be who you needed when you were younger. You know what I mean? I know that's definitely like a meme that goes around, but it's true. You know what I'm saying?
I know, yeah. I mean, I always say like spread love, but I genuinely mean it. And I always say this as well. I genuinely mean it, but I do genuinely mean it because, I mean, you know, it's so much better than hate. You know what I mean? Like,
there's enough trials and tribulations in the world for like, with us making more in our own heads and just like, it's, I don't know, man. I'm someone that's gone through quite a long mental health journey. And like another guy I work with, Ralph Cross Nails, he's definitely been a big part of teaching me. Like, I didn't know for a long time that the whole meaning of giving is better than receiving. Like, in all honesty, like, I spent a long time trying to chase the bag. You know what I mean? That I forgot that there's so much more to life in like connection and just like the way you maintain relationships and the way you treat others is like, so the energy energy, it's not energy, it's like the liberation you feel when you know that you've done something more or done something to change something for the better. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what I'm chasing right now, you know?
I mean, I get that with being an uncle to my sister's 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I could literally, they're the only thing that could make me cry on command. Just thinking about them, man, like, you know what I mean?
You, bro. Big up you, bro. Big up you.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel there's such a responsibility there. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I have to always do my best because I know that they're going to be watching that as young people, you see. So
that's the thing in it, is like, I think in this day and age, it's more important than ever, especially with like social media and kids, like young kids are getting bombarded with just advertisement, manipulation, conditioning, TV programming. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so easy for them to be. And I realized that the other day when we were going out and giving stuff to the homeless with Cross Nails. They funded it all. It was like all Cross Nails, but they some kids come up to us and like they were asking us what we were doing and asking so many questions, and I was just thinking, like, so many people will be like, these kids are so crazy and they're going about stabbing each other, and it's just like they don't know what's going wrong. And it's like, we're what's going wrong. Like, it's how we talk to them and how we interact with them. Every choice we take in front of them is what guides them. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's like, yeah, man, like I'm not a big person on like talking anymore, man. Like, I don't get me wrong. Like, obviously you've got to explain what you're trying to do so people understand it. But like, I'm more about walking the walk, man. Like, if I can do something that says 1,000 words, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I mean, actions speak louder than words, don't they? I hate to say the cliche, but it's true.
It's real, bro. It's real.
Definitely. So I was going to say, so what was the first musical performance you did? And like, how did that come about?
It's all coming back to Murray's side, bro. No, do you know what? No, Murray's side.
I love this because I get people to think about things that they've probably not thought about for years. I mean, it's so easy, isn't it? Thinking you stay in your lane, don't you? Like what you're currently working on. And
man.
You forget about the journey you've been on sometimes because you're so focused on like what we're doing now.
It's the thing. It's so true. And I'm very much like, especially when you're trying to get into the industry and trying to stay current. It's so easy to lose yourself in the trends. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not trying to, bro, thank you for this. Like, I do appreciate you doing a podcast like this. It is very much about like helping artists kind of remember who they are, in a sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely, because it's not about me, this. Like I say, I could easily make it a massive ego trip about myself, and you could be selfish, couldn't you?
Bro.
But it's not. Bro. It's 100% not about me. You know, okay, it promotes my DJing, yes, but you know, I just enjoy doing it. You see, I love speaking to people, bro. You know, and this is what it's about. You know, so like I say, but definitely. So going back to your first performance, so how did it come about?
First, before can I mention 2 because they were right close together, because this was a crazy journey.
There's no rules on here. Like I say, it's free and
obviously
easy.
My shout out to KDS. This is the guys I grew up with, P3 Mandem, Dunham. But we got put on at the Murray side. The DJ, shout out to Biggs, they put on an event, a community event, and all of our parents and all of our like the gal from school come down. And it's like, you might have seen a video on my Instagram where I'm talking about it, and you just like, it was crazy, bro. So we performed there. Boom, people come up to us. They're like, oh my God, you're great. And then I think it was, I can't remember who was managing it, because obviously Angel's been in my life and been like champion of my music for so long. Like, I wouldn't be here without her. But she didn't come on until later into the BBC and everything. And then like before that, I think it was Richard and Andrew. I want to say, I'm so sorry if I got one of your names wrong. But they were running the BBC Introducing, and they put us forward for Mayday, and it was like one of the first time. It was the first time that Ipswich Mayday has had like a urban stage. So it was like it was
a big thing then,
yeah, a big thing. Like grime wasn't represented for a long time, and especially with because it really kicked off with like Wiley and like when Wiley was clashing Kano and Dizzy Rascal popped off, and it was all like the early like hype grime scene and kidulthood and adulthood and all of this kind of movies that just like pumped us all up. Like I want to be a roadman, you know what I'm saying? Like bro, it's yeah. And then so Murray Side Youth Club to Mayday was my like the first performance and musical journey I had, and that just kind of like gassed me up completely, bro.
Definitely. I mean, it's funny like how you have your first thing and you think back, like we were saying before. I think sometimes you got to remind yourself. Like I always say this to people when they're like being hard on themselves. Like you got to be kind to yourself. And think about it. You know,
for real.
Last year, like where were you? You know, you weren't here, were you? And you know, look how far you've come. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, that's so real. Like you never know. Like it's crazy how because you hear sayings like it takes like 10 years to become an overnight success, and it's like that, bro. Like just try and don't be afraid to fail. Like you'd be surprised how quick it can happen if you fail enough. Do you know what I'm saying?
Definitely, yeah, crazy. Definitely. I mean, a podcast isn't that hard. I would say it's not hard. No, literally, it's just the hard part is not watching Netflix when you get home from like whatever you're doing. Literally, not watching Netflix, not spending time with your family, and just getting the work done, isn't it? I mean, it's not fun to put those things aside. But if you want to get on, you've got to do it, haven't you? You've got to get the
sacrifices, man. Like I fully hear you in that sense. Sorry, but it's like, yeah, like you hit me with the not spending time with your family as well. It's something like I've only like I think recently because of my mental health journey, it's kind of like forced me to open up because I wasn't great at talking about how I felt for a long time, and it's forced me to open up and always be kind of transparent about feeling because I can't afford to not be. But
but I think that's a good strategy there because I feel like if you tell people, they know, they're aware. I mean, I worry a bit as being dyslexic, so I have to say to my family members, yeah, I'm a bit anxious about this. Is it okay? Yeah. They say to me, yeah, it's fine, Richard, and then we move on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
if I didn't, I'd be like all day, like, oh, did I do that?
See, but this is the thing. This is what I mean. Because bro, I was meant to do this. I'm meant to. It's not like I'm not going to do it. I haven't heard when the date's actually happening. But it's like mental health talk, and it's like because they want to ask me how I got over my mental health journey and how I got over depression and stuff like that. And I'm kind of like, it's weird because like obviously because when things are going well and it looks like everything's great, which things are great right now. But it's like everyone's kind of expecting like this smooth answer. Like I just use breathing techniques and and it's like the truth is, bro, I got lucky, bro. Like I got a producer, Superman. Like I was at my lowest, and like I got a producer who I'd never spoke to, never even heard of, reaches out to me to give me beats. His name's Superman. Still messes with my head to this day. I'm like the universe sent me like a guardian angel or something.
No, but, it's
like, nice. Yeah, bro, like this guy literally saved my life, man. Like, and it's like he sent me the beats for free, and I'm like, what's the catch? Like, how much is he gonna want all of the royalties? Now 50%, sorts out all of the gigs for the tour. It's like had BBC documentary done about it, and I'm like, why is this guy working for me? And imposter syndrome's a bitch. I'm so sorry about my language, but like,
it's right. Believe me, it's fine. You can swear, it's not a problem.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool, yeah. Imposter syndrome. I swear,
podcast, bro. I click the explicit thing if it has it or not.
And then awesome. Okay,
and then we're covered then, you know what I mean?
Cool, yeah. And like, yeah, with imposter syndrome, I'm just kind of like, why is he working with me so well? And it's just like, bro, when you kind of been through a lot and you're not used to people just doing things for the love of doing things.
Yeah.
You kind of, it's hard to believe that their intentions are kind of pure.
Yeah, I get that.
Like Superman has been a huge, and this is what I mean. Like everyone's like, Superman's such a sick producer. I'm like, nah, Superman is a sick guy, like a crazy guy. Like he's insane. Like I'm not in a bad way, and I know it sounds crazy. I've just used crazy words, but like I've never had someone support me and champion me as much as this producer. Like when you watched, like I don't know, how old are you, brother?
This is going to be a funny one.
No, you're fine.
This is a funny one because you're going to be surprised at this. This year I'm 34. You wouldn't think.
Yeah, bro, I'm 31. I'm 31. Trust me, bro. But yeah,
I get ID'd going into the venue I'm DJing all the time.
Bro, so would I. I grew this out, bro. I'm telling you, it's that's what it is.
Nothing, nothing's
Them ones
happened.
there, bro.
Nothing's
Them
ever
ones-
going to happen.
Yeah. Bruv, count yourself lucky when you're like 50, you're going to look like 30.
Definitely.
So, like, bruv, but what I was going to say
You were saying about Superman, weren't you? Yeah.
yes, and you remember like MTV Base, and you used to watch like Eminem and Dre, and all of these people work together closely, and you're just like, how did they get there? How did that happen? And it's like, I kind of felt like that was Superman, man. I really felt like I was getting my moment. Do you know what I mean? And like a chance,
Definitely,
and I wasn't gonna waste it. So like I was just. Yeah, I just like, this is the time to get vulnerable about your past and talk about the stuff and where you come from and actually build. Because like before, I feel like I made music for like, just for making music, bro. Like I was trying to be heard and trying to be, and then the moment I kind of like, just was trying to do music to heal and like really get what I felt out there. That's when everything kind of changed. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Definitely. So I kind of tangent. I can't even rember what you asked me, bro. This is
This is what I love about it. This is why I don't really have it. I have a set format, but I just like to see where it goes.
Yeah, nice.
A bit like when I'm DJing. I like this. I have a plan in case it doesn't work out, but sometimes I just like, oh, I don't know, this they like that song. Oh, well, let's put something a bit unexpected on, you know.
Nice. Yeah, so that's the real craft of it, bro. That's the real craft of it right there, DJ.
If I'm doing like a disco set or something, and they're like the mainstream disco, you like Earth, Wind and Fire, something like that. I'll suddenly pull out like a really like rare, like not commonly known Studio 54 recording of a song that they've not heard. And now the one I always use, that some DJ sampled it now, so people will probably hear it more now because I think the song's called So Good. I can't remember what the actual artist is, but I bought the new version of it, like that they sampled it from. And but like you were saying, you know, like it's good, isn't it? Just sort of like put things out there like that and just go with the flow.
Yeah, trust me, man. Like I've got I worked with so many different musicians and everything. And there's so many different types of ways of working, and like I've definitely worked out that especially because I'm dyslexic and I'm also like on the spectrum. I struggle with like planning. Yeah, and like right, like on pen on paper planning is how I'd put it. But I'm great at kind of structuring things out and planning stuff in my head. And yeah, man, like this is what I mean, bro. I forgot the question. I forgot what we were talking about.
It's fine. We were saying about like we're going with the flow and like you know.
Yes. Oh yes. I very much realize now that I'm a intuitive artist. Like I'm not a kind of artist that will be in a shower. I might hear a melody in a shower and be like, oh, I'll run with that. I'm a guy that will like stumble and fucking fall into the right idea or experiment with like 100 sounds and they all sound terrible and you'll find the right frequency. You'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. And then I've got something, you know what I mean? Like I stumble upon like the stuff I like instead of trying to force my way and like into it. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't feel 100%. I can't really get creative if I try too hard. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think what you're saying there is a sort of like flow state.
Yes, exactly. Like trying to keep in a constant flow state, and it's like sometimes, like I remember when I'm Clems. I don't know if you're familiar with Clems. He's the artist I work closely with as well. He's on the album. He got flown out to Romania to record a couple songs with Atom, so record label out there. And I was speaking and they're really like they are a big record label. Like they got money, bro. And he was speaking to me, and I was like, "What? Like, what's your record label called?" And I'm Atom for, sorry. And he was like, "It's a touch of madness." And he's like, "Because in this industry, you've got to understand that musicians aren't going to fit into like the norm. We're not made to conform. We're artists. So like with a studio, like studios." This is where I think a lot of studios make the mistake in the UK is they charge artists to record, mix, master, produce, everything. Like every little bit has a charge to it. And it's like I have a studio, I'll charge £20 an hour, but I don't charge for mixing and mastering. I ain't gonna if I'm producing a beat, I ain't charging for it because if I'm producing a beat for you, I like you. I like the music you're making. I think it can go somewhere. And it's like the money isn't made in the studio. The money's made in good music. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
For real, man.
I mean,
for real,
it is crazy how, like, you're saying they're like, they're the record label, yet you're like on your like, I can't think of the right words to say this, but like on your end, if you on your end, like the end outcome that comes out of all your sort of like things, and it's like, oh, hang on a minute, you've asked to make the record with me.
Yeah.
Why am I like, you're the record label, like why you wouldn't go to McDonald's and say,
yes,
I want a hamburger, please. Or just pop in the kitchen, please, and put the patty on the thing. Oh, hang on, the cheese is over there. Okay, that's £2.50, please.
Yes, because a lot of people aren't honest. A lot of people aren't honest in the music industry right now. A lot of people are businessmen posing as musicians, engineers, and believe me, I know I work with amazing engineers, and the people they work with, they don't charge, bro. They're in it because they want to. They're getting a name. They do charge. Don't get me wrong, in the sense of like they take a percentage of royalties. Like if they're too busy and they need like a rush, someone might offer them a bit of money. But if they don't ask for money, bro, in a sense of like if you're gonna charge someone like £500 and then put all of that money in your pocket. Like, what is that? I just feel that's kind of like using an artist. But for me, I'm like, if I'm taking £500 from an artist, it's because I'm putting £500 in and it's going towards marketing. And then that marketing, then we'll have a contract that will sort out the royalties. And then over the next 10 years, we might get 8% a year. And then you might get that back in 10 years. But if you've got 10 tracks like that, bro. I'm sorry, brother. Do you know what? I just realised I tangent.
Don't be nervous, man. It's fine. I'm loving it. What I was going to say was, also, the way you're doing it there, think about it this way. People are going to come back to you, aren't they?
Exactly.
They're going to come back to you because you were reliable, you did the best thing.
Transparent.
But your focus was on making the best song and not making money, which you'll always get money, I reckon.
Bro, money comes and goes. Like I've really, do you know what? I remember. Sorry, brother. Sorry.
It's right. It's not a problem. I was going to say you always get money if you just try and do the best job possible.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Bro, I was going to say as well. Like it's something. I remember when I first like lost my, because I went through a crazy journey with jobs and everything, man. Like I tried to go legit for so long, man. Not that I'm not legit now, but like I tried to go. Like I was starting a CCTV business, and like I was like monitoring CCTV cameras for like, I'm not gonna say the company actually because I went terribly, but like I was like, yeah, I tried to do like go down the route of like what I thought I should be, like earning money and getting the most money and making it like doing what I think would make my parents proud and everything. And don't get me wrong, my parents are proud of me now.
Yeah,
more proud of me than I've ever been. But that's since me trying to be someone I'm not. It took me a long time to realize I'm meant to be an artist. Like, I love music. I do it every day anyway. It's all I think about. So I'm kind of like, when I was sitting there and the jobs I was trying to do, they just weren't working out. It's not like I wasn't a bad worker. Like, I'm a hard worker, bro. Like, I work, but a lot of, like, the universe just didn't, it wasn't working, bro. Like I remember I got one job I was getting like racially abused, and then the other job I was like, it's just they were messing me around with the hours and just treating me like a number, and I was kind of like, I'm fine, like no respect in it, and I'm kind of like, look, I've been through a lot, and I got a lot of fucking pain. So if you like, I can't work in places where I can't express that freely as well. I can't work in places where I can't, you know what I mean? Like I have to, it's not that I'm defined by my trauma, but it's also like I can't push it down anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? I can't put on this mask anymore and act like someone I'm not. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%. You've got to be who you are at the end of the day. Because I mean, you can't, like someone said to me once, I can't remember what it was about, but it's like, can you stop being you? I'm like, how? How do you how do you stop being you? I am me.
You shouldn't have to, bro.
I said that to the person, and I don't think they were too happy, but I was just being honest, and there was no like hate towards the person. It was just literally,
man. I
am Richard. I cannot be Kevin.
Yeah, exactly. I am who I am. I've gone through what I've gone through. I am part of what I'm part of. And like, I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm trying to say, bro. I'm trying to sound all profound in that.
It's okay. I tell you what, we'll ask the last question in the round, then we'll move on to the next round. Yeah. So the last question is, what was the first sort of album you bought physically?
Core my memory, I would say, it's either is it Gets Freedom of Speech, or is it?
It could be one or two. It's not a problem.
Like it was like Gets Freedom of Speech, or it was DMX. Hell is hot. It's dark and hell is hot. Oh, man, yeah, it was one of them two. I think it was Gets Freedom of Speech. I'm pretty sure it was, but between those two, I think it was Gets Freedom of Speech as the first project I actually bought. And it was proper like on roadside in a plastic sleeve with the cover on it. Like it's like, that's some like, you know what I mean, like the Yardie man, and they sell them at the markets and that, bro. Like man, is that bro? Yeah, Gets Freedom of Speech.
So what I think we're gonna do now is we're gonna move on to the second round, which is on repeat. So 1 sec, we'll be back. Okay, so this is on repeat. So this is about we discuss what your current challenges and projects are that you're working and developing on. So to start that off, what are your current daily challenges with music?
Daily challenges. I think managing all of the things I want to do at once. Like I think like money is it's not really a daily issue. It's just a general issue. But it's like for me, I've
definitely.
So
I was going to say, yeah, it's fine. I was just going to say, you know, like these days it is harder because of the cost of living and everything. You know, everyone's got to tighten the belt.
That's the thing, and it's not just that as well. It's how much it costs to do things well.
Yeah.
Like I filmed music videos on my phone that I've done great, and but one thing like the average music listener doesn't care whether you film a video on your phone or on a camera if it looks good, but videographers and engineers and people that are in the industry care a lot. So to do a music video well costs a lot of money. So when I invested in the studio side of stuff with a lot of the change I like saved in it. So I've got this studio stuff, but then when it comes to like doing, I could get a camera myself and I know videography, but I've been chatting to like Grade A recently about trying to do like a video for one of the songs that I've done recently, and it's like this is kind of like the first time I was saying to them, like, look, I haven't got loads of money, but I really want to work with you guys. And they were kind of like, yeah, no, you're from ends and everything. So like, I get it, because they come from my area as well. And, but other than that, like, bro, a lot of these videographers that are that good, like you'd see a music video to get on TV or pop off on YouTube, bro, it costs like $5,000 up to 120 upwards.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, unless you're signed by a major label, you're trapping heavily, or you come from money, bro, you ain't making it, bro. You ain't making it onto TV with unless you go viral as well. Sorry, that was the fourth one. Unless you make something really catchy and it just happens to go viral, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm starting with audio only, really, to begin with the podcast. Because I want to do video, but like you say, I want good quality video. Now, this sort of thing's all right for like Instagram. You know, it's fine. You know, it gets people interested. But you know, for an actual full episode, you've got to have the
it costs money. And that's the thing. And that's what, do you know what it is? Up running costs to keep your content high quality, engaging, and I say even at that level, trying to stay true to yourself is actually a problem as well. But bro, like it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money because it's bro. And the thing is, if you're putting 120 grand into a music video, it better be a good single, bro. Do you know what I mean? You've got to know it's going to come back in some way.
Definitely. So I was going to say, so what are you currently working on then?
Currently, I've actually just releasing. Actually, I've been working on P3 with Superman, and that released January 1st. And then we had we've been putting out clips, just kind of testing the waters to see what we can do and what we can't. And we put out a clip of a remix we did. Like, it's not a remix, it's actually just like a sample taken from Wiley's Gangsters, and we reworked it into a rap track instead of a grime one. And Wiley commented on it and started following us. And
nice.
yeah, it was crazy, bro. It's
That's crazy, man.
And like, it's surreal. It's surreal. And like, yeah, so we tried to contact him for clearance, spoke to his manager, and then he got back to us just saying, yeah, use it, man, use it. And it's just
oh, that's great.
So yeah, it's insane. Like, it's surreal, man, because obviously I grew, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, I like watched Wiley clash Kano years ago. Like, I watched him release all his albums, and I'm very much like he's inspired me hugely in the way I want, like my work ethic, in the way I want to be in the scene. Like Wiley brought through Ice Kid, brought through Chip, brought through they're the main ones I know, but I know he's brought through other producers, brought through so many people, and he still does it now. And that's what I kind of, that inspired me to want to be like that. That's why I got a studio. That's why I learned production. That's why I learned videography, so that I don't have to pay anyone, so that I can help and I actually have experience in every area, so I can help in every area. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I get what you mean there. Like, I always like putting comments of like Instagram videos to do with DJs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's enough room for everybody, because I feel like there's a mentality all the time, isn't there? Like, oh, you've got to try and beat everybody else, but no,
it's not a competition. It's not a competition.
You're different to that person, and that person's different to you. So there's enough room for everybody. Just be grateful when they get successes, and it's all, we're all together. We're all in the same thing. You're going to bump into people all the time.
What's that saying as well? Like, because there's that saying in there, like, would you rather be a warrior and a gardener, a gardener in a war? And the thing is, it's like, it's great that people are willing to fight and compete and fight for what they believe in, but you're in a garden. You're not in a war. You're not in a war. Like, this creative industry isn't a war.
Yeah, I mean, if they do well, it helps you.
Yeah, bro, 100%. That's what I mean.
Where I live in Preston, like, I feel like it started, like, the DJ sort of situations started to really sort of like pop off a bit. Yeah. Because we have all these like DJs having their own events, and there's people that I know that they're putting their first events on. I put like, it's my third event, like, in the last year or so, and it's just all starting to grow. And like you say, it's great that, like, if that person does well, then
community,
everyone else we're going to do well together. Like, because if there's an audience for that person, they're going to come to his DJ gig.
It can easily translate. Exactly. It easily translates. And
there's no point in being jealous or anything.
That's
it's all good.
And the thing is as well, but that's the thing. A lot of people in their, they gravitate towards people that are the same as them in the music industry, and they're not realizing that can be. It's great if you all have your own sound to something within, like a subgenre within that, or a sub sound within that sound. Like, a lot of people don't realize going outside your comfort zone is what builds your character as an artist. Like, for me, for years, I didn't realize how long I was actually learning music for. Like, I started off producing on Fruity Loops 9. I'm on 21 now.
Yeah.
And I picked it up, made my first beat, and I was like, I'm going to make so much money off music. Oh my God, I'm going to be famous. Like, and it's like, bro, it wasn't until when I came back after I stopped making music for like 5 years, and then I came back and I was like, oh, I actually, like, I know what I'm doing to some extent. Not that I know everything, and like, there's always going to be so much I have to learn about, like, industry life, whatever, however you want to look at it. But like, it was crazy to how, like, the euphoria from making a great track and everything as a young artist can kind of like, and like you mentioned this before, actually, is like when the ego starts coming. And it's like dealing with that ego as a new artist, like just because you like what you've made doesn't mean it's marketable to the masses and your dreams are realistic. And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to like shoot people's dreams down. What I'm trying to say is, like, really, really work on, study the craft, like, develop yourself and keep things close to your chest, and like, don't be afraid to get a second opinion. Like, take all ego out of creation. That's what I'd say. Do you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And I would also add to that, at the same time, like, don't take it personally. Like, everyone's not going to like what you've got going on. they might think, from their own personal experiences that you look like a bit of a poser. I mean, I'm not saying you or me.
Yes, no, I feel you.
Whoever's in the conversation they're talking about, and they might think for some, like, even down to the trainers or the jacket you wear.
Yes,
they might think you're a certain way, for example, but you're
Yeah.
not. You're a totally different person, But
bro.
you don't know why people might not like you, but if they don't like you, just fast forward and leave them to it. If they do like you in the future, they'll come back, and it doesn't really matter, does it? Just
trust me, man.
Just try your best, put it out there, and see what happens.
See what happens. See what happens. Enjoy yourself. Have some fun. Experiment. Like, don't try and get famous, man. Don't try and get famous. I spent years, and I'm not even saying I'm not famous now, but I'm like starting to pop off, and it's all of the things started happening for me when I really wasn't doing this for anyone, but like, well, not even like I'm doing it for myself. I was just making music I wanted to make music. I wanted to dive into a concept that I haven't wrote about before. I wanted to learn a bit of guitar, and it's just like find goals within music and try to achieve them. But yeah, man, it's not about the end goal. It's like, it sounds so cheesy. It's not about the destination. I know, it's about the journey.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry to interrupt you, but I do feel like obviously the cliches most of the time are actually right. Do you know what I mean? It's just common sense, but because we hear them so much, they lose their sort of potency.
Definitely.
They're not as strong, you know what I mean? But then to go to the next question, it fits rather well there with what you were saying. So what does success look like for you?
Consistent peace.
I like that.
Yeah, that's honestly, I was, when I was younger, it'd have been like a house. I pay my parents more. I'd love to pay my parents' house off and stuff like that and all of that. But honestly, consistent peace, not just for me, just help the community heal. I'm not saying I want to take all of the world's things on my shoulders or anything, but
no,
yeah, man, I just want to be in a place where I can sustain, self-sustainable, but enough to reach out and help others as well. But that's it. It's not just, I don't really know where my music journey's taken me, in all honesty. I'm just kind of making projects, making singles, working and collaborating, and just seeing where the journey takes me. But yeah, very much, yeah, man, I'm just trying to enjoy the ride, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I'm all for that. Yeah, definitely. That's great. So I think what we're going to do now is going to move on to the third round, which is discography, where we talk about your music. So 1 second, then we'll be back.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is discography, and in discography we talk about the guests' music that they've made. So to start that off, what are your favourite 3 tracks to either perform or that you've made?
I would say Moon is definitely one of my favourite tracks that I've made and to perform, just because it's quite close to my heart. It's quite a personal track, and people really embrace it. And as an artist, when listeners embrace something that is very vulnerable, that's what I make music for. I guess it's I guess we all kind of want that inner validation a little bit.
Definitely,
I felt heard.
Definitely, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know, and especially it probably connects with you a bit more. Well, obviously more on an emotional level.
Yeah, 100%.
When you put that out there, and then
people relate. Do you know what I mean?
People connect to it, and I mean, it must be so fulfilling that
100%, man.
It's been received so well.
Yeah, and other than that, I think Moon. I'd probably say OFC with Kid Bookie and Stay Alive with Anyone the Wanderer.
Yeah, that's the one with the sort of strings in the beginning.
Yes, the outro, the closing track to P3 before it goes into the bonus tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the element of bringing something like a classical element.
Thank you, thank you, man.
It reminded me I mean, it's obviously not the same, but I don't know if you've ever heard that 90s dance track called Children.
No, I don't think I have. Oh wait, I recognise the title.
Yeah, you probably have. It's so recognisable. But I was listening to Kiss FM yesterday as I was getting ready to go out to my DJ social I go to in Preston, and that came on. And then I was looking through your stuff earlier today, and it reminded me of. Obviously, it's not the same.
No, but that's mad. Thank you.
How you like the sort of same element, isn't it? In like, okay, it's a dance track that you use sort of like classical
elements,
and then like your sort of music is used strings, but in a different way, and it's always like seeing people's like creative twist on things.
Yeah, I mean with that track as well, it's because like I'm like I found the strings were like a sample, and I had to replay them in with orchestral, but like there was like this, it was in like a cinematic kind of like area of like, because I have like these banks where it's got, you can like start with samples and sounds and stuff like that. And I heard that, replayed it in, so because the original one sounded really rough, and then the beats kind of come together. And as soon as I put the drums in, it was kind of like, because I wanted to have a classical element, but then I wanted to also bring in like a kind of jazzy Afro beats kind of element to it as well. And then once I put the drums on, I was like, it was just a case of my I was like, my boy Josh, Rags, he's in a lot of the media I put out, you might have seen him. He plays bass, and he was actually sending me a voice note of him messing with a bass thing, and it kind of actually fitted in that, so I reworked it into a bass line for that. And then as soon as I finished the beat and like put the chorus on, I was like, I'm sending this to anyone to wonder, man. And he was like, yeah, this is crazy. And he asked me to send the whole album. And so Stay Alive is definitely, that's one of my favorite tracks because of the process as well, of just like how it really felt like I don't want to say like masterpiece, not in the sense of like I think my own song's a masterpiece, but it was like, it felt like I was working on something big while I was making it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I get what you mean there. I totally get that. Like I say, another thing I quite like about, I think it's P3, the album, isn't it?
Yeah.
I quite liked on that there was a lot of like dialogue before the music started. I always love that in like music. I feel like that is such a good thing.
So I think you have to with a concept album, because I like making concept albums, and to show, you got to take people along the journey, but sometimes it's hard for people to understand a concept without some sort of dialogue easing them into it. Do you know what I mean? So
definitely.
And especially I took a lot of inspiration from the way Kendrick Lamar structured Good Kid, Mad City. Actually, and it's like there were certain songs that you, without the dialogue beforehand, it wouldn't have kind of set you up for the hard drops and certain things. You know what I mean? So it's very important to kind of include, and especially with the concept, what it was about. I've got my brothers always with me. I've got people with me all the time, so it's very easy to set the soundscape and the kind of story feel free. You know what I mean?
I think we've already answered this, but what would you say is unique about like your music and your like style of music?
Honestly, it's very much like about my life. So it's kind of it's the stuff I've been through. So it is unique in itself. Like the stuff I'm talking about, like it's got like grime influences, trap influences. Obviously, it's heavily rap orientated, but like I definitely have always been an artist that likes to experiment. So I like classical. I like some country. I like good music. I like stuff that makes me feel something, regardless of what genre it is. So yeah, man,
Definitely. So I think that's a good place to move on to the last round. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Dream Big. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Dream Big, where we talk about the guests' ambitions and what would success look like in the future. So to start that off, what's the biggest ambition for your music?
Biggest ambition for my music is definitely like making like a global hit. Whether it's got my like, I'm not really like, obviously I'd like a track as X I don't lie to pop, because I'm a producer, like engineer. I'd just like to be involved in a hit song. to be honest. Like just to kind of like I like the studio. I like the idea. I'm a bit cliche in the sense of like I want a real platinum plaque on my wall. I want a silver, even just a gold or silver or something, man. Like I know it's cliche and I know it's a bit materialistic, but for me, it's something I always dreamed about as a kid. When you see like Dr. Dre and like what's his name as well? Oh my God, Jermaine Dupri. Timberland, and you see their studios and they've just got platinum. I'm like, just one. I just want one on the wall, man.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
but
you know
I like that. I like the fact that you've said just one. I mean, you're not reaching for the stars there. Just one.
Bruv. Just one. And it's not even like because I want to be be in a Hall of Fame or anything. It's just like I just want to like something I've been involved in to be heard globally and because the stuff I usually make means something. So like it'll be nice to know that a story's gone worldwide. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I love that. So with that leads on to the next question quite well. What's the dream artist to collaborate with? I mean,
there's
for me,
so many.
Exactly, it's a hard question. This, and I feel like I sometimes ask questions like a news report, and you're like,
can I answer that? Can I answer that?
However you like, mate,
by different country. Oh, okay, cool. So, UK artists.
It's hard, isn't it? I mean,
my God, Wiley. I want to say Wiley because obviously, and the thing is, I really want to say Wiley, but then I also want to say Kano, Skepta, like Guess.
Oh, chuck them all in the bag. It's all fine.
Dave, Stormzy, like any like all of these real like mad artists. I'd love to just get on a track with them and just like that'd be crazy. Just do you know what? Not even get on a track with them. Just meet them. To be fair, that'd be cool. But
I always think. Sorry to interrupt. I always think like eventually I want to get into the production side of thing of DJing, and I always think about is like artists that are like female artists that don't do like dance music. Like taking them and making them suddenly like this big dance artist would be like a cool thing to do. Someone I'm trying to think.
That's cool. I hear you though. Yeah, you know,
like
when
field.
Yes, like and with Rudimental kind of do it as well. The Rudimental do that quite a lot. They champion artists and like, but that's I really like that, man. But I was gonna say as well, American artists though, Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, Absol, Reason. Zyra Shard. That's it.
I love that. So then that leads on to, like, if you could choose one, like either dream festival or concert location.
Coachella.
Right. I love how you I don't even finish it and you know exactly. That's great, man. That's that destination.
That's the dream, bro. That's the dream. Do you know what? It's just to be able to say the sentence for me. I performed at Coachella.
Cool.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's cool, bro. That's
definitely. What's that? I think we just got one question left now. Is there any other sort of dream or aspiration for like your music career that like isn't mentioned? Like for me, I'll give you an example of what I'm sort of asking it. For me, it'd be to write a James Bond sort of dance theme tune, and like but like change the vibe of it completely, so it's more like, I don't know, a drum and bass one, for example.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we change the vibe of it, and he's a bit younger, and it's more like younger, or I'd make it older, like, so it's like the 60s again, where it was like the golden age of James Bond, but you could do it like in a like like Ibiza classic, like club classic.
Yeah. That sounds bad, bro. I'm telling you, if you want to get into production, obviously I teach production and stuff like that as well. If you ever want to come through to the studio, bruv, and just chill and work, because I'd love to, obviously you've got it on record that this is your idea. So what I'm saying is, if you want to work on that, please let me come through to the studio and work on that here, because I want to run with that with you, bro. That's crazy. But yeah, no, I'd say honestly, I've always wanted to like rework. What was it? It was I was thinking about this earlier today. Actually, oh my god, sorry, my brain's just gone blank. What was it? Tom Waits. Thank you. Yeah, Tom Waits. It was like I remember years ago when I was working in this band, Sleepless Wild, we done like we would obviously it was a band, so everything was quite like analog and recorded in like with guitars and live instruments and everything. But we went digital at one point and we done this track where we sampled Tom Waits' "Hoist That Rag," and it just turned into the maddest like dubstep drop. Like, cause I don't know if you're familiar with Tom Waits at all.
I know his name. I just can't remember. I can't remember his music.
He's the guy that Heath Ledger based his Joker on, like as the way his mannerisms are. Tom Waits is a very weird character, but he was an insane genius level musician. And this song, "Hoist This Rag," is just this really unorthodox, rough sounding, gritty song, and then you remix into this like dubstep kind of rock, like metal track. Oh, it's just insane. But I'd love to like revisit that and drop that, but professionally and get like clearance to do it because it was so good. But it's obviously we couldn't just release that on Spotify. So.
No, definitely. I love that. I also, it's funny you mentioned Heath Ledger there. I always think about like the actors and the performers and people that have gone too soon. I always think like he's a big one, bro. What would they be doing? Like, what sort of stuff would they be making now? Do you know what I mean? I like what especially with musicians. I think like
Tupac, Biggie.
What like, sort of artists
Aaliyah?
would they exactly? What sort of collaborations would have come about? You know, like
real, bro.
You know, like I mean, I think it was recently. It was Bob Marley's birthday.
Oh, Bob Marley! There's literally you can see Bob Marley. I don't even not say his name.
It's all right, man.
Bro.
And I was thinking, like, who would he have collaborated with? Do you know what I mean? What mad music would have come?
Well, look at what his children are doing. They're all fire.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. I know Angel interviewed, I think is it Ziggy? He's the youngest one who's like popping off right now.
Is it the grandson?
Yes, the grandson.
I always forget his name. Like
Calm
his
Down.
He's
done that Calm Down song, innit? That's the last song I heard of him, really. But he's a really good artist, man. And Joe he seems like a really sound guy as well. Man.
I think the BBC did some sort of concert like to honour Bob Marley.
That's probably what it was. Yeah, that's probably what it was.
It was in Birmingham, I think it was.
Yeah,
I remember watching that and thinking, my gosh.
Yeah, legend.
Talent there.
Yeah, bro. Like, and yeah, it's crazy how artists like that inspired generations. Not just a generation. You know what I mean? He's timeless.
Definitely. So I think we're gonna have to wrap it up there. But no, it's been a great interview with you, man, and I appreciate the time. And I always love having like these conversations with people about that because this is what this is about. This podcast is about people that like music. People that make music, and you know, I always feel like it's always about artists and the audience, and I feel like you know, just getting people that do things for the love of doing it is just a pleasure, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like,
this has honestly been such a great podcast, man. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you saying that, but I'm gonna have to wrap up there because we're gonna move on. To
no worries, brother. No worries, brother. No, thank you so much,
and. Thanks for coming on the podcast, and we'll speak soon, man.
Yeah, definitely. Same way, bro. Thank you so much. You take care of yourself, yeah?
Pleasure interviewing you.
Yeah.
See you later. Thanks, there. Bye.
Bye.
In the mix with DJ Rambo Rich.